Hi, it's Jan from YouMakeItSimple.com. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how simple and easy it is to make DIY felt flowers, and in this particular class, felt mums. I'll show you a few different varieties and sizes to make a fun, quick, easy project to add some color to any room. So without any further ado, let's get started. You will need a piece of yellow felt, a piece of green felt, a pair of fabric scissors, floral stem wire. This is cloth covered wire, 20 gauge, a pair of wire cutters, a fabric pen or a pencil will work, a rotary cutter if you have one, not necessary, but it does come in handy for cutting the felt strips. Some floral tape if you are adding a leaf to the stem, a simple lid of a water bottle just to cut out a circle with, and if you are adding a leaf, just some thin gauge paddle wire, a glue gun and glue. And if you are adding a leaf, I have a leaf PDF download that you can cut out for whatever style leaf you want to use for your flowers. So if you're making the short mum with the loops, we'll be cutting out 1-inch strips, and if you are making more of a spider mum type flower, we'll be cutting 1 1/4-inch strips. You'll need your strip to be 10 inches long. Simply take the lid off your water bottle. I'm using that as a template. It's a perfect size for the back of the flower. This is the disappearing ink. You can use a pencil, of course, and I'm just going to trace out. I'm probably going to make about 8 of these flowers. So to save time, I'm going to trace 4 of them and then fold it in half, fold it over, and cut 2 at a time. The first mum I'm going to show you how to make is a short blossom, so it's really tight onto the base of the stem, and you can either make them this size or this size. This is 10 inches of a strip of felt, and this is more like 6 inches or 5 inches even. So you can see that this is the same process, but the blossom is a lot longer and the loops are bigger, and both are cute. It just depends what look you want to have. So to make this particular one, I'm going to take my 1-inch strip. We're going to be folding it in half lengthwise. So I'll just take the glue gun and just run a strip of glue down the end, the edge, and fold it in half. Pinch it together. You only want the glue to be along the one edge so that we can cut into this folded area real easily. Once you have that doubled and folded, glued, we are going to cut little strips about 1/8 of an inch apart. Take your scissors and we're going to cut in little strips about 1/8 of an inch apart and leave about 1/8 of an inch uncut at the bottom. Can you see that? have all these little slits in there. And now we're going to roll it up using and gluing as we roll. So I find it easier if you hold on to the edge that is cut with your less dominant hand and use your dominant hand with the glue gun onto that side. So I'm just going to put a little dab, and we're just going to work a little bit of a little section at a time. We're just going to start rolling it onto itself. Then I'll apply a little bit more glue. Making sure the edge, that right edge is even. Isn't that the coolest and cutest little flower ever? So to finish this off, we're going to apply the round piece of green felt that we cut out. And notice that there's a little bit of a hollow place in there. We're going to fill that with just some scraps of felt. So you had your scraps from the green. I'm just going to cut off these little pieces there. You could use stuffing if you wanted to, but I'm just going to use this stuff. I'm just going to make a little wad of it and take my glue gun and insert a bunch of glue in that empty hollow place behind, and carefully just apply your wad of scrap felt in there. This isn't going to show. So that will fill in that hollow space. So this particular floral wire comes in 18 inches, and I want my stems to be about 9 inches, so I'm going to cut that in half with my wire cutters. Take your needle nose pliers, and we're going to just wrap the end, one end, around the tip and pull it out to make this little circular shape right there, and then we're going to bend that down, and that is how we're going to apply it to the back of the blossom. We'll just be sticking it right there. Don't worry, we'll be covering this up, so just apply a little bit of glue right there in the center. Take your stem and glue it. Now to cover that up, take your circle, fold it in half, and just make a little teeny slit in the center. That will make a little teeny hole that we can poke the wire. Slide it up halfway on the stem, and then apply some glue on the back side. And slide it up. And apply it to the back. And you may need to add a little bit more around the edges. If you are applying a leaf, I also have a felt leaf tutorial. that will show you how to make all kinds of different leaves. Decide which leaf style you want. Lay the pattern on the felt and cut it out. And like I mentioned, I do have a full leaf tutorial that you can download and print all the patterns and the different ways to make the different types of leaves. Depending on what you want the leaf to do and how you want it to, if you just want it to be a floppy leaf, you could obviously just glue it on like that. But I want a little bit more structure to mine, so I'm going to add a little bit of this paddle wire to it. Or you could use another stem and just glue it on and then bend it down, which I think I will do with this. So I'm just going to apply a strip of glue right down the center. Then you can bend it however you want to. Bring it to the stem. I'm going to go down a little bit further. And you can use floral tape if you want to. I wish this was just a little bit lighter shade of green, but this will work just to show you how to do it. You start just wrapping it around, and the floral tape will stick to itself. So you kind of have to get it wrapped around first, and then it'll just start sticking to itself, and you can just spin the two stems together. Spin the two stems as you wrap it around, and it goes really fast. And if I wanted to add another leaf, I would wait on that while I applied, if I wanted to apply another leaf there, and then just keep wrapping it around until I'm all the way down to the end. I'm just going to add this one leaf, just spinning it and twisting it and kind of pulling it at the same time so it stretches a little bit and sticks. Just go all the way down. Just rip it off. And there you have that leaf. If I were to be putting this on a brooch or a pin, I would just add a cute leaf to the bottom here and put your pin on the back. So many different things you can do with leaves and flowers. Fun little thing. To make a floppy blossom, so instead of folding it in half and gluing it, we're just going to leave it open, but I am going to fold it in half to make this cutting process a lot quicker. And I'm just going to be cutting down depending on how big you want the petals to be. And so just start cutting little strips. If you are cutting more narrow strips, you want to make sure that they're straight so you don't cut into the next petal. And they both widths have a cute look to them depending on what look you want. So just kind of experiment. I'm leaving about 1/4 of an inch on the bottom of this particular flower. And when you get down to the center, just open that up and cut that one in half. Or cut. Careful not to burn yourself. We all love glue gun burns. They are the worst. This one has a low temp, so there's a lot of times where I'll just use a low temp, and then I'm not burning myself. Keeping those ends even as you roll. So you could stop right there and have a cute little this size and even trim that down. There's so many things that there's so many different styles and ways you can alter these flowers. You could just sit and make different kinds of flowers all day. Of course, you could make these in other colors, but I like yellow. So if I get halfway and I think, maybe I'll just stop there, or so I can have a big one and then another little one by it, or a bunch of these the same size. Oh, there's so many things you can do. I'm just going to continue on with this one while I'm gluing. So that made quite a big blossom. This particular size was 16 inches, a 16-inch strip. So you can see that that made a big flower. So I'm not really going to fill the space of this one. I'm just going to apply my stem to it. So if you're not putting a stem on it, you can put the felt back on there and apply a cute leaf on there and put a pin, so you could put that on your sweater or apply it to a headband. So many things, fun things you can do with them. I've put a particular mum in this wristlet corsage, and I'll be showing you how to make the other flowers in these other tutorials. Just trim around the excess if it's overlapping at all. Fluff out the petals. Oh, such a cute bundle of yellow joy. So throw those in a cute vase. That's happiness. I like these cute jars that olives come in, tall skinny jars. If you are recycling a jar and it's hard to get some of the glue from the label off, I'm going to show you a trick. Just take some lemon essential oil and place a few drops on the jar, and it wipes off really easily. I forgot to mention, this particular flower was made from yellow fleece. So you can make these from felt. This is a felt flower and this is fleece. And it's kind of cute because it's really kind of floppy and I like it. So lots of different things you can do. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Stay tuned for upcoming classes. We'll see you next time.